Okay, considering that this is the correct stair, which you just follow the steps properly as said in the video to set this these parameters, the 310 that I did not apply as width stair. So make sure these steps are correctly done, but essentially it's going to give you the same need for changing the landing in the front and the back. Now we actually need to change a little bit of the partitions. If I go TL, there's actually I'm going to delete those green lines because I don't need them anymore. If I'm happy with the result, I can tab till I select the elements that I want to delete. There, a bit cleaner. So the shaft is standing beyond this point, the point of the stair, and the partition as well. So you just need to start doing some alignments to it. For example, what I'm going to do is from the 3D here, and I have this partition has to be moved to meet this side of the stairs. So you can just say align to this face, there is this face of the partition. Actually, I used the shaft, so let me go to the shaft. Ctrl C, select the shaft, edit sketch. You can move the shaft to that point, both in this side and the other side. Say okay, so now they're associated to the stair precisely. I could edit again and move this one down, so move this point here, so that's a clear opening as well. And I can move the partitions from this point to the stair, both in the top and in the bottom. So whenever that says, it's probably because you have a conflict here, so you can just start cleaning up this partition so that they really respond to the surrounding elements. Okay. Seems to be a clean layout. I would normally go to this section and double check that everything looks good. Looks good, nice. I will go to the other section, double click there, and check that your partitions, let's go to Find View. Partitions are properly aligned to the exterior sides of the stairs. Good. One thing we're going to notice is that actually these partitions, when you create them from level 5 in this case to level 6, so they actually cross entirely the floor. So we're going to have to fix this, and I'll do that next class. But something important to note is that right now you can shift this manually up and down, but all the layers come with you simultaneously. So you could select this and make a top offset to be minus whatever distance is the floor. So for that we can go DI and check this 5 inches, as we have noticed from other parts of the project. Let's say minus 5 inches. It comes down. Obviously we have so many partitions, they probably want to do that to all the partitions at the same time. So you could go and get rid of the section box. Whenever you're perfectly done with partitions and doors, etc., select your floor, filter out everything except the walls, and make that offset of the base constraint, the top constraint, sorry, to be minus 5 inches. So all those partitions are going to come down and respect the floor. I'm going to Ctrl C that so you see the difference. The partition goes now up to the top, and Ctrl Y to go back to come down. So now that's perfect match. But let's imagine that actually we have to go to the level of detail of how the partition meets the shaft. Go to the 5th floor. Well, actually the shaft normally is bigger, and then you place the gypsum board along the shaft. So what you could do is edit the shaft and align it AL to this side, tab to select, take it down there, say, or even do it over here, tab to select, and say OK. And if you go to this section, double click, say, well, this is not working, but this is actually the proper way of constructing this configuration, is that the first, second, and third layers of this partition should move along, and you only place the gypsum board in this side. So how can we have a partition that somehow splits some of the layers up and the other ones stay down? Right now everything goes together. So the way to do that is selecting whatever partition you want to kind of a destructure in terms of layers, edit the type, press edit, preview, and you zoom in to the levels and modify, select these faces. You see how when you select this line here, you get a lock? Say unlock, unlock. Let's say OK and see what happens with that. Actually selected the bottom. See how you have 2 arrows now? So basically we can decompose different parts of a partition in different layers. So we can set vertically some of the layers up higher than other layers. Now we can only divide in 2, unfortunately. We cannot divide in 3 or 4. So you always have to kind of a dialogue which group of layers you want them to be going down and which ones you want to go or stay on the top. Okay. So I'm going to do it here again. Take it down, further up. And this is a clean detail of the metal stud and the gypsum board inside of the shaft continuing versus the interior gypsum board stays against the floor. It's a better detail. It's a quite more professional. So at this point we go to the 3D. Let's imagine that I'm happy with the results of my partitions, which obviously is not done, but you should be at this point. You can select the whole thing, filter out everything except the walls and the stair ingredients, which be careful with the ingredients of the stairs because there are many different parts: stair runs, landings, stairs, top rails, railings, etc. You say OK and you do the famous copy and align to select the levels. Remember, we're dealing with 5th, so we could go to 6th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. Obviously it's going to take a long time because there's a lot of information, and a classic mistake is that you select actually the 5th and you duplicate information. I think somebody had that problem with several floors in the same place. The good thing is that we're done with this, so if you go to any level, the floor is correct. Okay, I mean correct. What I'm asking you is that at least you have 2 types of floors. So go to your 4th level or to your 3rd level and just arrange a little bit differently the organization of your floors. If you see this, just make sure your underlay is not there. Somehow it's turned on sometimes by default, so it doesn't disturb you. You should have some interior spaces. You should have the elevators here. Obviously, a passage to enter the elevators. I think we have a couple of rooms. So feel free to reorganize the spaces so they're different between plans. You could have some of these open. The split tool is a good one too. You can actually split and drag this or just trim around. delete this one, trim. You could have some more public space here with a column there, and you can, have some furniture in this area, or you can even have a glass panel looking into the stair, etc. Okay. So in general, that will be the process. I do not recommend duplicating or copy and pasting to other levels if you're not totally done with one of your floors at least. Okay. Now, what I was saying is bring into your sheet the plans. I would not like to see these sections in those plans. I would like to see them only in the sheets that correspond to the stairs. So I would recommend that for your presentation views, you hide this section so they really don't appear. What you will find, obviously, that in your plans you have the callouts to the stairs, and that could be the numbering of your sheet that sends you to the stair details. Okay, so that would be one. Another thing is that before copying everything down, I will select this stair from the 5th floor, wherever you're working, take it there, solve the problem also here, and then do the copy very quickly. Okay. Let me go to the gym for the next step. It's 2 stairs, very simple. We're going to go to the 1st floor composite. It's going to go from the 1st floor to the 2nd floor. In this case, we could actually even go to the 2nd floor composite and go downwards actually. Or we can go to the 1st floor composite and underlay to work with the 2nd floor. So you have it there. Good. You could create a couple of lines, or you can just say again, architecture stair. Here's where I should have changed before the dimension of the width, and I could just draw right now. The type of stair is going to be in this case assembled stair, which means made of metal parts, and you just go you can distance yourself if you want, finish it, say okay, get your stair, you move it 2 lines to that point, and now it's again the moment of placing section marks to see if we can properly study the stair in detail. So it needs to be moved a bit. There you go. It is made of components and parts, so it's good, and you're done with that. You have the stair there. You could actually move so it touches the facade at the end. And what you could do is just a mirror. Modify or select mirror. Select the axis so it comes to the other side exactly symmetrical. Okay, we can create a camera very fast to see how this is looking. It's looking good. Sometimes it's just tricky to get the camera. Let's say show camera. Use this to the camera. Show camera, and you can just move it. Okay. And now we can look. There we go. Zoom in. And it's looking good.